to check as many chests as possible. And it leads to some interesting and really non-standard decisions. And we're off.
I have to stop the tracker from calling me pretty. I don't know why it feels the need to do that. It keeps inserting that in places. Hey, Cure 4 at level 1 is nice.
A Fire 2 at level 2.
That's pretty good options at the first spell shop. That would feel pretty good at this rate. You'll have to level up a couple times to take full advantage of that Fire 2, but even having one makes you feel a lot better for dealing with pirates.
It looks like Will is gonna head over the bridge, while we'll see if Tristal is gonna follow suit, and we'll see if Sforzando decides to join SBQ and going to Temple of Fiends.
Though because of how the experience is set up, it makes for some interesting decisions in how you approach everything. When we were doing the tournament, hey, TNT in the very first chest. That's nice for SBQ.
So,
and soon will be for Sforzando as well.
Yep. So, trip to Temple of Fiends definitely required. See what the other couple chests have. Looks like Iron Gauntlet and just a modest pile of money.
That TNT is almost always going to be required. The Power Gauntlet is not something you're going to turn your nose at.
Now, finding it this early and with this flag set, would you sell that?
I'd never sell that. I don't care if it's only a 2% chance that I have to go to Temple of Fiends Revisited. That's my ace in the hole for that.
It looks like Imps have Rub. Oh, no, they got Thunder as well, so...
Well, that's happy. You might have to go back up to Temple of Fiends to find something to kill. So I was going to make the point that even these imp fights, which a 5-pack of imps in the tournament looked fantastic because you clear them out, you get, if it was plus 100, for example, you'd get 400 experience, so 100 each, and you'd get a level. Because we're not doing the flat rate on these, those fights aren't worth as much experience, so you need something that's worth enough experience on its base level before you're going to get level ups from these fights.
Yeah, and then you also need to find out with the 400% enemy stat boost, what can you actually kill in the early going. I've seen a lot of these runners will try to take down an iguana or a couple of Gur imps only to find out they rolled 400% on their HP.
Yeah, these angry imps, though, look weak enough that you're going to be able to clear them out as long as they don't have a nasty skill, so... Level 2 is definitely something you want before Provoca, so... But not worth the experience is your other problem. You can kill them, but they're not worth enough experience.
Another issue, too, is you can kill them, but you don't have anything to save the results of the fight as well, so... I feel like if you're going to do some early leveling, the best option is to go to Provoca and do your leveling just outside the town.
Yeah, and that also has one of the best targets usually for getting that early experience in the Ogres, which we don't see a lot of people really take advantage of, because at that point they like to go to Peninsula of Power if they can, and get the higher level monsters there. And there's sense to that, but if you need enough to get started, the Ogres are a pretty good target. Try to keep up with everything going on at once.
Yeah, no worries, but I agree with you. The Ogres are probably the best early enemy that works with the flat rate multiplier.
Yeah, anybody who read the book that came out with the original Final Fantasy, it always said that those ogres and creeps were a great combination for gold. Well, they were lying. It wasn't the combination, it was just the ogres.
That is true.
Will gets the TNT now.
And Falchion in the Provoca weapon shop, and that's about the best weapon you can get for a thief. So, very useful and very reasonable in cost.
And being able to swing his sword makes quite a difference, especially early on. Just being able to get more damage output than one at a time, it's helpful. Crystal's going for the pirates now, and they've got fire, so they're fun. But he's got fire too, so he wins.
What can you say? You gotta fight fire with fire.
Just make sure your fire is bigger.
And looks like Sforzando is going to sample the bridge text again. Meanwhile, Crystal gets the ship.
Now there is something you can do about that. It's a question of how much time you want to invest. But you can run up, touch the bridge, get the text, go back to the end at Corneria, and save. And then you won't see the bridge text again.
And I think that's a good move given how many new enemies you see on the walk to Provoca. If either that or just skipping Matoya's entirely and just... That seems to play better in flags with a flat rate, because then you can get a couple levels before going over the bridge, and you feel a little safer doing that.
And SBQ is now seeing the pirates with their fire. And he doesn't have a red or black mage, so he doesn't have fire too. That's an interesting call. In party composition.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to work out at all.
The fire is not going to hurt that much. We don't know what's behind it though. So he can get levels and get past it. We're just not used to doing things like that, but you can still make this work. Your other option would be, here we are, we're just 6 minutes in. Re-rolling a party to have better opportunity the rest of the way is worthwhile, I think, especially if you're under 10 minutes in. If a party change would genuinely change something for you, I am personally of the opinion there's nothing wrong with re-rolling at this point.
Oh, I totally agree with you. The 6 minutes that it would take for you to get back, and even less than, because you know where everything is, it would take you that much time to level up to a point where you can fight these pirates.
Yeah, you could skip Matoya's knowing the Power Gauntlet is there, but you could pick it up late game. You could skip Temple of Fiends until after you had the ship. You could just go straight to Provoca. Will just got level 2, so I assume we're about to see him go for the pirates. Let's see, I see off stream that Brilliant and Minochi are working on that fight as well. But yeah, sometimes, and we've all been there, you can fall victim to the whole sunk cost philosophy. I've already put this much time in, and pirates have cremate, so that's even scarier than fire.
Oh, yes, definitely. That is one that you're not going to get through without a mage.
Or significantly more levels. So, again, if I found myself in SBQ's position and I find cremate, which he just now does, you're either going to have to get closer to level 10 or change your party. Heal 2 is at level 2 white magic. Not a terrible find at all.
No, any of the heal spells are useful. Lets you level and exit, but only accessible to white mages.
Bane at level 1 black magic. That can certainly pay dividends.
Yeah, sometimes instant kill spell, fastest way to deal with an enemy that's rolled very, very high in the HP department.
Looks like SBQ was able to get past the pirates, so I would imagine as far as party composition goes, SBQ should have had the hardest time of anyone, but if you do it enough and you kill, if you hit hard enough, you can certainly get past it. But it looks like Minochi has had some trouble with this fight. And Quicklit just got there. Trying to keep an eye on everything at once, it's not always easy. Okay, I'm being told that SBQ has a red mage. I actually thought that was a knight because of being in the first position, so shows you what I know.
Well, it makes sense for the red mage to be in the front early on. Has the most armor.
I also hadn't been looking close enough to see the magic points, or that would have been a dead giveaway. Looks like Will had to re-grab the TNT.
Yeah, those imps and spiders with squint now look like they are giving the runners some trouble. And how about another look at the bridge for Sportsondo?
Significant gold available in the Dwarf Cave. It can buy you a couple spells. Tristal able to get that, and he's opened up a canal.
So I think it makes sense for Tristal to go pick up the canoe from here. I have no idea if he's going to stop to pick up some levels along the way.
It's always a tough call where you're going to invest your time in this situation, but with that level 1 exit, boy does an Earth Cave dive look tempting to me if you've got it. I don't think he was able to because of the red mage.
No, but that is an option open to anybody that brought a white mage.
Which again, you have to figure if you brought a white mage unto itself, you're taking a bit of a gamble there, because people are not bringing the white mage hoping for the 1 in 8 chance of fade. Well, let's call it a 50% chance of useful fade. I don't think most people are going to gamble on that, so if that's your advantage with the white mage that you get exit, then take advantage of what you've got.
And now it's Will's turn to drop off the TNT.
Looks like Quicklit has gone to Peninsula of Power to work on some levels. And Minochi still having some issue with the pirates. But he got Fire 2 off, so he should be clear of them now.
So, silvers in Elfland and coppers in Melmond have not seen gold yet.
Could be airship required. And looks like Brilliant was actually the first to get over to Crescent Lakes area. Nuke at level 3 and Warp for sale at Melmond.
So, anybody that brought a black mage is handsomely rewarded, and both of those being accessible to the red mage is also very beneficial.
Yeah, if you brought the double mages, you could be set up pretty well in this fight. But the Warp also does the same thing I was talking about with Exit. That gives you a potential Earth Cave play. So this might be one where if you brought the red mage instead of a white mage that it could actually pay off. I'm looking at Minochi's party, that's exactly what he did. Quicklit's got effectively the same. Maya's got a white mage, and Brilliant has a red mage, so not too many white mages out there.
And now Tristal is going to head over to Crescent Lake and see if he tries to take out these giants.
Nuke might make you a little more willing to try these fights out. Or Bane. I don't know the odds of Bane versus Giants, but it always seemed pretty good.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, Zap versus the Giants is about, it's higher than 30%, and Bane is a lot more accurate, so it doesn't surprise me that he's having good luck with instant kill strats right about now.
And he gets the Peds down with Bane as well, so definitely some early levels.
Yeah,
And that's the way that it's nice to get them, just free and easy along the walk.
Yeah, that is the most efficient way that you can pick things up. Just get the levels as you go. And the other benefit of having warp and exit is that after you can take fights, and after clearing a certain area, you don't have to reset, and you can keep all of those levels.
Of course, the downside to having level 1 exit is you risk the ultimate exit boss. Lit 2 at level 4. Not normally a spell I would be eager about going for, but I like having a damage spell on each level because that gives me more options.
And Lit 2 is a nice one to have at level 4, because by the time you get to the Sea Shrine, if Sea Shrine is required this seed, you'll have some charges for it.
Sforzando has the canal opened up. Brilliant, it looks like, is going after some Peds in Crescent Lake. Not sure where Minochi is right now. Quicklit's in Elfland. Maya's getting the TNT. Oh, Minochi is at Peninsula of Power. Which, with that fire too, is kind of a compelling argument. Especially if you were able to get houses. I haven't had a chance to watch the shops that much. Level 3 Nuke is great, but you do have to get to Melmon first, which some of the runners have not been. So let's answer a chat question. Basically, what do they have to do to win? This is not a race to beat Chaos. This is a race to get all 4 bracelets in the inventory of your black belt. 3 of them are available for purchase. The silver, the copper, the gold will be for sale somewhere in the world. The opal, there is 1 available in a chest somewhere in the great randomized world. And so the runners need to look at a lot of treasure chests to try and find it. So Tristal's gone to Ordeals to look for it, armed with warp to help navigate the pillars. Will has gone to Earth Cave. I assume he's armed with exit. So I like both those plays.
And Will gets a ribbon for his trouble.
That could definitely be a difference maker. I mean, the magic defense, especially relative to your levels right now, is so good.
It's like Tristal is taking a dive into Ordeals and finds out that Medusa's rolled 2 hits with a ton of strength.
Yeah, and one of the interesting challenges of these flags has been, because bosses aren't required, the incentive to level up is greatly reduced. So everybody is doing this at lower levels than they would otherwise.
Another question in chat. You can't pick fighter. You can choose fighter if you wish. The issue is a lot of folks are taking thieves in order to increase the run chance. There's 2 philosophies that I've seen for people that are running this. The first is take thieves, try to run away from as many fights as possible. The second is to have a fighter in the front slot to soak damage, because due to the nature of this flag set, you're going to be of a lower level than you normally would.
Alright, Tristal has gotten to the treasure floor. Theoretically, higher level monsters, higher difficulty monsters even, in Ordeal than you should be facing in Earth Cave. The upside is, treasures are faster to get to, as he gets a Pro Ring, and I think he got a Thor's Hammer too.
And the Thor's Hammer is very nice, and it looks like he was going to burn a Lit 2 charge on those sorcerers.
Got an Ice Sword, which will go on a Red Mage quite nicely. whole bunch of gold in front of the zombie dragon. Is he going to take that fight? Or he doesn't have exits, so he probably has to take that fight.
Yeah,
But he should have nuke in the bank.
And it looked like he intentionally... Oh, gosh, they hit real hard.
But low HP, so he's able to get through that, and that might actually be better than he planned it.
Yeah, getting 3 levels on the red mage is great. Of course, he would have loved to have the other levels on the black belt, but just that narrow focus alone means that he should be able to get some level 5 charges before he finishes.
He's also the first one to rule an area out for not having the opal bracelet. Would have been interesting to see his reaction if he had wiped to those zombie dragons, because I don't think he would have dug out the dungeon. I think he would have just left and gone elsewhere.
Picking up the other party members now, and I think he's going to pick up a silver bracelet as well.
So it looks like Will has had enough of the Earth Cave. He warped out. There's our silver bracelets for sale.
SBQ also digging Earth and finds a ribbon.
Quicklit is somewhere in Earth, but I don't think he's going to find anything based on what we've seen from Will. So, from our perspective, seeing all that we see, you liking Ice Cave or Volcano more right now?
I think Volcano is the best play, especially with Warp and Exit. You can get out and save in the middle of your runs through the second floor treasures.
So another thing worthy of talking about is one of the runners sells their ice armor, and that's a perfectly natural thing to do because one of the rules of this round is no class changes. It has to be a black belt who holds onto everything. So, can't be a master, has to be the black belt. Because of that, if you didn't bring a fighter, nobody's equipping that ice armor. And it's just a nice pile of money for you.
Yeah, and it is interesting to see that I believe all of the runners, out of all of the runners, no one has picked fighter. But of, I think the last 4 races, 2 of the winners have had fighters on their party.
Hey, we're getting recognized in chat just by voices alone. Isn't that nice?
Always appreciate the attention. And,
let's see, it looks like Quicklit has just gotten the canal. Looks like Minochi is fought Garland. He knocked Garland down, and Brilliant also went to Ordeal, which we know is not going to produce any of the required items or any of the progression items like a floater.
Still very good items in Ordeal that set you up for the rest of the game, and if you manage to not get creamed by the zombie dragons, then you can get some nice experience too.
Yeah, I don't think you're ever going to complain about getting an early Thor's hammer. I've yet to see anybody do that.
And unfortunately, Brilliant gets ambushed by Argoyles, a pack of 7 that are all casting Dark.
Oh, there it is. It's in Volcano, the opal bracelet. We just have to find the gold. Tristal.
Ooh, and the fact that the gold bracelet hasn't been purchased yet means that it is airship locked.
Not necessarily.
Well, that's true. There is a gold bracelet floating around in the treasure pool as well.
There is, and there's places we haven't seen it yet, and SBQ is in one of them. Because if that gold bracelet is in here, and if by some miracle he went to volcano next, it could pay off. So, nothing is for certain yet.
Another one of those interesting seeds where the opal bracelet is not the bottleneck.
It's also poses an interesting dilemma, because there's 3 items right now that I would say matter. And this is going to sound like a strange list. First is the gold bracelet, because if you find it in Trystal's case, you're done. The second is floater, because then you're going to be able to fly somewhere where gold bracelet is for sale, and then you're done. The third, every once in a while, we have ourselves a ruby required seed. If the airship is in the lower, if the floater is in the lower floors of the Earth Cave, ruby ends up being required, or if the Titan blocks it. Of course, this marsh cave could be absolutely hideous and have stone touch and really wrecks Forzando's party. That could be unpleasant. But he's going to check these chests anyways, because you have to. And an honorable mention, I should say 4 items matter, because the other one is crown, because if the floater or gold bracelet is crown locked, oh man, that would be the hard pill to swallow if I found crown right now.
Well, crown leading to ruby, leading to ruby locked floater.
That's just evil.
The ultimate fetch quest.
It would feel painful every second of routing that.
Looks like the fire elementals in the volcano were fiercely guarding a piece of cloth.
Well, the other nice thing that Trystal picked up out of the room, and understand we buried it behind the lead item because that opal bracelet was certainly the lead item, but he got the black shirt out of there, so he's got free casts of ice too, which is not something at all to shake your fist at when you're in the volcano. But we know at this point, slab is not going to be required, bottle is not going to be required, because there's only 2 shops left where gold bracelet could be for sale.
Oh,
Or no, it's only one, isn't it?
Oh, Wizards have glare, so it's a good thing none of the runners had to come here early.
Looks like Minochi has made the right play. He's at Volcano. But the biggest question mark to me is, what is Will or Sforzando going to find in this marsh cave? I think Sforzando's almost done, and I hadn't seen him find any of the key items yet. I will say I like Will's strategy that he's employed here. He went to Earth Cave first, and then I talk a lot about this, that second play you make. You don't want to go somewhere obvious like Ordeal where you know somebody went first. But you go Earth Cave, Marsh Cave, and what are the odds somebody else took that route? So it gives you a chance to win.
And looks like Brilliant is diving into Ice Cave right now. So if we have a vanilla floater, that is going to be a very big lead, but could also be kind of a trap as well.
Man, that would be a tough one. It would let him find the gold bracelets for sale in Gaia, but how long would it take him to go to the volcano from there? Although percentage-wise, it would still work out without the slab. But if the floater is here in Volcano as Trystal continues to dive it...
And, well, Trystal has Power Glove and Defense Sword, and Slab. So
he finds the slab, but that's completely worthless in this seed. And I say that only because we know the gold bracelet's going to be for sale, so there's no need to search.
oh wow, that is a hefty Grey Worm, and he is left with only the Red Mage.
Not an ideal situation. I don't even know if we saw life for sale.
Not yet.
But you have to finish checking these chests, because if you find the gold bracelet, you're done.
Gold bracelet
looks
or
like nothing in
floater.
the marsh cave.
Oh no, he finds the crown.
Well, I said it already. That is the one that I have the hardest time with. I don't know what my reaction is to finding it. I think my first instinct is to still go to Ice Cave. Because I'm already here, it's less overworld travel, and I've got Nuke to help me clear things out in the Ice Cave. And I know the Opal Bracelet is here, so nobody having done tells me nothing, because how many people are going to Volcano first?
So 3 more chests for Tristal to check.
Boy, and the Agamas are not usually going to roll too hard, but that red dragon, and Tristal's not even going to mess with it. He's going to get this crown out safely. I cannot blame him at all for that.
Yeah, so very, very low percentage that the floater is going to be in that chest. So now we know that there's only one chest in Volcano that floater could be in, and a lot of chests in Ice and Earth where it could be. Could also be crown locked.
And I mean, I can't fault anybody either way. If you go to Ice Cave saying number of chests and what are the odds somebody's going to go Volcano, go Ice Cave, find floater, go to Volcano, pretty low. But the odds of finding floater in Ice Cave, still pretty good, having ruled out Ordeal already, which he has.
So it looks like Minochi is actually on the Crown Quest chain right now.
Good point in chat that also Tristal hasn't been to Earth Cave and he hasn't been to Marsh Cave. This is an interesting direction. I'm not sure if his ship is over on that side. No, it couldn't be. Is he going back to Volcano?
I don't think so. I know he likes the canoe route from Elfland area. So if he left his ship in the inner sea, then that's going to make the crown check pretty efficient.
Well, he went to Ordeal first, so that's what I'm missing in my head. There it is. You knew where he parked the boat. But this also does change the routing, because now Ice Cave isn't the closest place. Looks like Maya's on his way to the Ice Cave. And so is Quicklit. But I don't know that we've actually seen what's in there from anyone yet.
Oh, and it looks like Minochi is going to be the first person to crack open these crown chests.
And that's what I said, I can't fault anybody for either strategy. And Tristal is going the crown locked strategy. And if you have to go to the Marsh Cave, it's a lot easier to swallow that pill if I've got the Mystic Key and I know I'm getting everything. But the fascinating thing to me right now is Quicklit and Maya off of our featured stream are in the Ice Cave. And if we find Floater with one of them, then that tells us exactly where Tristal needs to be. But even if we find Floater there, if he just happens to get lucky and one of these Well, both Crystal and Minochi are in this position. If they just happen to get lucky and one of these chests contains that gold bracelet, that's the race.
Another very good point. Looks like Minochi is sailing straight up to Canaria now.
And oh, by the way, this key quest is a whole lot easier to do with the canoe. It's not airship easy, but it's a whole lot easier.
Wizards with Glare taking out Quicklet's party. Maya makes it down to the next floor.
Brilliant, meanwhile, has gone to the volcano, so we're going to have our third runner with that opal bracelet in their inventory.
And there's Will headed for Ice Cave.
Boy, just trying to keep an eye on everything, and it's not always the easiest thing. Looks like Randomania 2 has come over here to join us, so hope you all enjoyed what you were watching, and hope you enjoy some Final Fantasy Randomizer. Masamune in this first chest. That could be valuable if you have to do battle with anything.
Minochi finding a second ribbon, but still no floater.
And by the way, I will not be putting the slab up on tracker because we know it's not required in this seed. We do not yet know about the ruby, though. So we could still need one more progression item.
In the first 3 chests in ice, and we'll see where everyone goes from here.
Here's the Dwarf Cave from Tristal. He's our first runner to go here.
Minochi finding the tail, completely useless in this round.
And there's the third ribbon is in Dwarf, so wow, we are either that red dragon chest, crown locked marsh, or ruby required. If I'm up to date on anything. Actually, we haven't been to Astos either yet, or seen all of Marsh, so I'm getting ahead of myself. Too excited by the possibilities.
Also, Minochi is dipping into Temple of Fiends right now, so there are 3 crown lock chests there where the item could be.
See, Temple of Fiends, I think. Yeah, am I behind? Because it looks like he's at Astos.
See, I've got Minochi on 38:32 on his timer.
Okay, yeah, I'm about a minute behind there. So he didn't find anything at Astos either. So it's Red Dragon, Ice, or the Depths of Earth, or Crown Locked Marsh at this point, based on what we know. How amazing would that be if Tristal made the right percentage play by leaving Volcano with just his red mage, but that was the answer all along.
Well, Sforzando is currently digging Volcano now, and we'll see if he feels the same way as Crystal. Question in chat, did they check Crown Lock Temple of Fiends? Crystal's about to do that right now.
And Minochi did already do that, so if he didn't done, then we know it doesn't have the gold bracelet. Will's is the easiest stream for us to see what's going on in this ice cave. Bane Sword. Earth or Marsh. That's what we're down to.
Could be crown locked in Marsh, or it could be in the very, perhaps the third floor or second floor of Earth.
And this could open it up to more runners, because at this point you have people who have done the depths of Marsh and know it's not in those chests. They end up doing the Crown Quest and figuring out, okay, I gotta go back down there. I don't know that we saw every single chest in Earth Cave because of the Guard of Earths. So if Will did that room last, which would make a lot of sense, and then he warped out instead of fighting it again, then we saw everything that was pre-vampire. That's what I'm not sure of. I'm not sure if he went to the vampire floor. I think he just did the first two.
Yeah, there haven't been deep dives into Earth, so Minochi is, percentage-wise, from what we know, on the right track.
Yeah, and if it doesn't work out here that you get either ruby, floater, or gold bracelet, then he knows that he can exit out, and the Marsh Cave is right there.
And most of Tristal's party is petrified right now. He's going to continue.
He's doing the north side, so he either gets the gold bracelet or resets.
And given that he is the first one down into Marsh that has the key, this could be... we've got two runners now that are both closing in on the last possible treasure chest.
Looks like Brilliant is on the volcano as well, so that's the other important thing, is we've not seen the dragon. And he could be sitting on the key to the whole seed.
That is true. And it's appropriately, it seems like Earth's no crack, but those ribbons have been saving Minochi.
So it's always kind of interesting to try and figure out what the clock is telling you. At 42 minutes, there is no way that everything you needed was in one of the first level dungeons. So volcano you could have full cleared, ice ordeals. That tells me just on the timer, if I were running this, there's no way that had everything. So then I know I'm looking for floater or ruby or something. The trouble is, you could get to volcano, find crown, and think, oh, that's what it is, it's crown locked, and I've got to follow that. Which it still might be. Minochi's on vampire floor.
Checking that very out-of-the-way chest.
You have to at this point. Again, with no floater and no ruby, he has no way to get below the vampire's floor. But he's still got a few chests on here that could have his answer. You know, maybe my mind is just thinking too much in the way of evil thoughts. But could you imagine finding the floater? You'd have to leave instantly to go find the gold bracelet for sale. But while you did that, somebody happened to find the one treasure chest with the gold bracelet. That would be the ultimate snipe.
Well, I mean, that's what it's lining up for Minochi and Tristal right now. It could happen that way. And looks like we're going to get our first look at the crown lock chests.
There's the floater. And I think you've got to exit immediately with it. Because as long as you have enough gold, that is your game as soon as you get to Gaia.
And I think Tristal is low on warp charges, so he's going to run for it. Yeah, he only has one left, so he's going to try to clear this floor, since this intermediate floor has less of a chance of nasty things showing up.
And folks, don't give him the trophy just yet, because if Minochi finds gold bracelet in the vampire chest, he's gonna snipe this. And you can't fault either play one bit, in my opinion. They both made sense. I might have erred on the side of going to Marsh first, because I know I could have full cleared it while I couldn't full clear Earth.
And it may have just been one of those meta-analysis that led Tristal to check Marsh, thinking that the other players, if there was something in Earth, they would have finished by now.
The vampire was just guarding gold. So, Tristal's in the driver's seat is what we know now. The only question is if he has enough money to make the instant purchase or if he has to farm for it.
He should have enough money just by selling all of the equipment.
Adamant was guarded by the Red Dragon. That was the only other possibility, actually, and I neglected myself and forgot it because Tristal never solved that one. So if that had been the gold bracelet, that could have been everything. Do you think he's feeling pressure or comfortable right now? Well, right now, actually, he's got to feel a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, I think just not seeing a dot done and knowing where the floater was, it's a really high chance that nobody else has found this yet.
Yep, now get everything lined up. He's got to get the opal there. There it is, and that's GG for Tristal at 47 minutes and 6 seconds. So, it was crown locked. You had to find the crown and the opal in Volcano, go down the crown fetch quest, take it to the bottom of Marsh Cave, get the floater, and then go buy your gold bracelet in Gaia. That was the path to victory today.
GG, Tristal?
Well, looks like, give him a minute. The mics are sometimes a little funky with the Discord. And so he has had some issues with that recently, but very well done on his part. He says, Mike, why?
And looks like Minochi is headed to Ice Cave.
Yeah, which we unfortunately know is not going to be the right play. Because we didn't find a gold bracelet in there either.
And thanks to our restreamer, Noristra, for putting in new runners as some of the old runners finish up. Appreciate all the hard work.
Also, just a quick update. We've had a couple decide that they're not going to improve their chaos standings, so they're going to drop out. Sforzando and Quickly have withdrawn. Do we have a Tristal now? Nope. We do not. We'll keep trying. SPQ now has the crown, and he is working on the Astos fight.
And Will finding out firsthand just how brutal these Grey Worms are.
Yeah. So, just to run through our scenario again, to finish this seed, you had to go to the volcano, get both the opal bracelet and the crown, follow the crown quest to the bottom of the marsh cave to get the floater from the crown-locked marsh cave to go buy your gold bracelet in Gaia. That was the path to victory today.
Question in chat, where can the tracker be found? The tracker that you see right now has been built specifically for races, but if you join the Final Fantasy Randomizer Discord, there are some trackers that other folks have made specifically for just one person, and those are available for download.
Well, I was about to mention it looks like Maya has decided not to continue, and then there he is in chat already. Hi, Maya! So we know the runner who should theoretically be the closest to finishing next is Minochi, but he has to get to Marsh Cave to be able to do it. SPQ has the crown, though, so he also has to have the opal bracelet. So if he happens to decide to go to Marsh next, what a play that would be. Well, unfortunate that Tristal is having issues, but if you want to share your thoughts, Tristal, by all means, we'd be happy to repeat them. But would love to hear what you thought of that one. Okay, SBQ now getting the key. And then where will you go with it? Because I think one of the things the time tells you is that it couldn't have been free in one of the key chests. So, do you go to Marsh, or do you go looking for Flutter? I don't know.
I just think with the length of time before the dot done and not having easy access to Floater, I think that would tell me either it's if I haven't seen the crown yet, I probably think it's in Earth, and I mean this seed would have sent me on a wild goose chase for sure.
Well, they didn't have easy access to Flutter was part of the issue.
And looks like we're bringing in Brilliant in the upper right.
I think these are all of our remaining runners.
I think Ellie is also racing, but there are some stream issues.
Okay. And SBQ is in Corneria. Makes sense that you go there just to find out what's there. I mean, like you said, the seed could definitely send you on a wild goose chase, even knowing that somebody is done. You're like, there's still 3 or 4 scenarios that they could have followed. I'd probably be looking for the ruby at this point.
And now Will gets his crown. And I wouldn't necessarily say... there's a comment in chat. He had a quick start, but still wasted time in ordeals. But the zombie dragon fight going the way that it did, and some of the items that you found in ordeals as well, I think would have made a time save in their own right. 3 extra levels on the red mage meant that you had a lot more resources to play with than all of the other dungeons that you explored from that point.
The other thing I'm curious about, Tristal, is at what point would have had to have gone back to the Red Dragon? Was that going to be your very last option? Or would you have done it before something else?
And looks like Brilliant picked up the loot. And this seems to be a trend. Loot not required to finish the seed most of the time, but Brilliant almost always finishes with it.
Alright, so Will working his way through here. Tristal says he did check the Red Dragon chest, so I just overlooked it when we were watching a whole bunch of runners at once. Well, now
Yeah.
he says maybe not.
Yeah, I think there was definitely. I mean, with only one character left, checking the Red Dragon is almost certainly going to be lethal. So.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I am not at all questioning the decision to leave. My only question was, at what point would you have to go back for one missing chest? Do you leave it to the very last? Or would you check it before doing something else? Now Will gets his crown, which we know is required.
And Brilliant and SBQ finishing out the crown chain. And if either one of them dips into Marsh, they're going to be the next finisher.
This was such a fascinating puzzle to watch play out, because we didn't know where things were going to be. There were so many options for places it could go. Minochi was theoretically right on Tristal's heels, but then, just unfortunately, the wrong plays set him in the... Can't say wrong plays, but for this seed, they weren't the right ones. And the chase just sent him to other places. But, I mean, how many times would you have figured we were going to play these seeds and have the Opal Bracelet 10, 15, 20 minutes before finding a gold? Or any of the other four, for that matter.
Yeah, this could have been an incredibly quick seed if Gold Bracelet just happened to be for sale, not in Gaia. But that's where it ended up landing randomly.
Did Will take a wipe? I looked away, and he was on the continue screen. I'm not sure if he took a wipe.
I would assume so, since he just typed, well,
you can guess what he typed
angrily,
at home, folks.
Yeah. It's,
well, but you gotta
I'll
go back to the crown.
I'll just tell
Can't
you,
leave
it's
that
all
behind.
in caps.
Either the caps locks or shift was used, and you can get an idea of what Will said from there. And now it looks like he is going to go back in for that crown. Or not. Or did he already save it and I didn't see that?
No, he is without crown.
Thank you, Drumbordus. That made me laugh. He says, "Boy, I sure do love puppies."
Yes, Drum. That is exactly what he typed. So SBQ diving Earth, and I mean the numbers. Having checked all the other places, this is the right numbers play, but just ended up in the wrong spot. Brilliant, currently in Marsh right now.
Well, at this point, there's no way it's easy to access Earth that could have what you want to do. The question is the ruby here? When you're facing the unknown, that is.
And it looks like Minochi has to walk all the way back to Elfland in order to pick up a couple party members, so that'll give Brilliant a fair amount of time to check Marsh.
Apparently Ruby was in Waterfall, but we could already tell from what we saw, because we saw every chest that didn't require the rod. So we knew it couldn't be in the Southern Hemisphere, basically.
And Will going to ordeals now.
That would not have been my first choice. Just because you know somebody went here first.
Question in chat, floater wasn't required at all. Floater was required. There was no access to the gold bracelet other than with the floater.
Well, mild chance of that being no, because I think there were actually 2 treasure chests in March that we didn't see. I think it was in the first locked one that Tristal found it.
Yeah, that's a good point. There could be a gold bracelet in one of the other locked chests. And one of our devs saying that the gold bracelet chest is in Mirage, so that takes that off the table.
Okay, but if you're sitting there as a runner, you don't know that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And that was something we were wondering at the time, was if you found the floater, do you take it and run, or do you go for the rest of the treasure chests just in case the gold is there?
And Brilliant may not know that you can get that chest without getting into a forced fight, but Cobra's not too bad, and there's the floater.
Either way, he's got the floaters, so he'll be happy for it. He still stands in a great position to be our second place finisher.
Yeah, just has to cash that in right now, and given all of the crown chest exploration beforehand, Brilliant certainly has enough money to pick that up.
This was just such a fascinating one to watch it unfold. The only downside I have with this one was the path was so linear.
Well, the correct path was linear, but none of the runners took, the direct line to it.
This is true. Even Tristal did extra dungeons. I can't remember now if he did the Ice Cave, but he certainly did Ordeal, which was required. He did avoid going to an early Earth Cave, so he did that. He confirms now in chat that he did Ordeal, not Ice Cave. And at the risk of overemphasizing my point too much, I think this is the round where if you're not the winner, it is so hard to be close in points. So if you don't pick up a win in this round, this might be one of your worst scoring rounds. And Brilliant has the airship. He's flying to Gaia. As long as he has the money, which he certainly ought to. And he is going to be our second place finisher, time of 1:04:21.
And we'll try to get Brilliant in here for an interview.
So, little shy of the 20-minute mark, but I mean, it's no surprise to see Tristal do well regardless of the flags, because he executes this game at such a high level. It's not just a question of finding the right path, it's the question of doing it quickly enough.
And we're joined by Brilliant right now. GG.
Thanks. That was fun.
How you feel about that second place?
I would have felt a lot better if I hadn't tried to go to ice.
At what point did you go to ice? Was that an early play or was that a later one?
The way my routing went, I went to ordeals first and found a lot of goodies, and then I tried ice after that and found it just completely undoable.
Yeah, there were rates that I think they cast Lit 3.
Yep, and then the wizards were just a pain as well.
And Minochi has got his gold bracelet, has to get it sorted. Minochi was the second one to have the crown, by the way, so theoretically could have been done much sooner, but just couldn't find the right path. Now he is going to be our third place finisher with 106.14 for his time. So how long did you have that opal bracelet for? Before you were able to get the gold?
I'd say a good 20 minutes just because I found it and then I ended up taking a wipe, so I had to go get it again, and I figured may as well dive the rest of Volcano, and then I found the crown.
Were you originally gonna walk it out, or was the plan always to get it to check the rest of Volcano? I'm sorry, I'll form a coherent sentence here eventually.
I figured I was there and there was enough, like, I went in with 99 heal potions, so I was going to check all of Volcano because I had no idea where the floater was, and there was just, I didn't want to go to Marsh.
Minochi is here, but again might be suffering from the Discord gremlins today. Looks like it.
And looks like Will is diving Earth now. So Will, without the crown, has a lot of backtracking to do.
That's true, I don't think he ever went back for it. Which is really unfortunate, because he knew where it was. Well, I take that back. He knew where the opal bracelet was. Did he go back for the opal bracelet?
If he finds a gold bracelet in Earth, the crown won't matter.
There is not. One of the devs checked, and it actually was in Mirage, so floater was required this seed.
Oh, that's very unfortunate then.
And we saw, at this point, everything except for 2 chests in Marsh Cave. Because for both you and Tristal, you found the floater and then left, which makes all the sense in the world.
So SBQ has just about exhausted any other possible search locations. It'll be down to Earth and Marsh.
So, what we knew before is that Will left. Okay, he did get the opal bracelet. I wasn't sure if he had gotten that out of there, but then I just saw it in his inventory. I'm not sure where SBQ is at this point.
SBQ is in Crescent Lake area, and is this a trip to Ice Cave? It might be.
Looks like it.
So the wild goose chase continues.
Yeah, and yeah, solid question. And what resources do you have? What are your preferences? Crystal's preference to go to Marsh paid off. He hadn't gone there early, so he had all of those chests instead of just 3. So that tilted the math. Plus, having warp and exit, he knew he could get out of there faster, which also tilted it a little bit towards Marsh instead of Earth. So, SPQ is in the wrong place. Unfortunately, so is Will. So it's not until either one of them gets out of where they are and goes to Marsh Cave that we'll be able to see our next finisher.
And SPQ running into the Frost and Lit 3 race. And with no access to life spells, this is a pretty brutal encounter. Oh, and they follow up Lit 3 with Lit 2.
Well, why wouldn't you?
I mean, I guess that's true. It gets weaker as it goes along. The battery gets drained.
Yeah, and Lit 1 would clearly be next. So let's see. Next race, if you want even more of this fun, looks like it's tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. And then we got a doubleheader tomorrow. You get another chance at 2 p.m. if you want to see more. If you're a night owl, on Monday the 5th, we have a 9 p.m. race. So plenty more ahead. We still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chances for somebody to improve their score.
And has anybody successfully played defense on this round yet?
I don't think so. I think we've seen only a different winner each time. Tristal came about as close as anybody could, only because he was very close to a 0 on the race where he got gold bracelet. And this would have been a defense of that had it been any closer than it was. Let's see. So far, Artea has put up 0s all the way around. And I think Tristal is now our second player to do that.
I think Split is also in the 0 club. And then
Yes.
Poor Show is in the 0.01 club.
Yeah, Tristal before today had a .02. So hey, if you want to show some extra love to Randomania, who's been so great to the Final Fantasy Randomizer, check out their YouTube page. Give them a follow over there. Or it's YouTube, you technically sub over there. Oh, where is Will at now? Is he going back to his ship? No, he's going to the volcano. He's got to go back for the crown.
Well, he's just about cleared everything else in the game, so I think he knows that the floater is crown locked. Just a matter of where is it.
So we're starting to see the results of this round really play out at this point. There's still chances for everybody to improve, but as those chances dwindle and nobody's putting up a really low score, other than Tristal, who just improved that to a 0, this, I really think, is the round where people are going to see scores go up.
Alright, I got my Discord back.
Just in time for lunch. Hi, Minochi.
Yep, just in time for lunch. What's up, guys?
So it was very interesting to watch your progress. You were pretty well neck and neck with Crystal for getting the crown, but then he made the different routing choices that worked out better.
Yeah, I just didn't want to do Mars. Because, whoa. Because everybody skipped Mars early, and I thought it would be like if someone finds something in Mars, they would have finished by now. So that's why I skipped Mars. But that bite me back because it was crown lock.
Yeah, and we still never saw the other 2 chests in Marsh, which I don't think we ever will. So what's funny is that could have been a gold bracelet, except we already know it's not. And Will is still continuing in this volcano. He picked up his crown, but now he's still going.
He's got to go get his adamant.
Wait, there's adamant in there? I skipped that. I just grabbed
Adamant
the
is
crown.
guarded by the red dragon.
I grabbed the crown and was like, I'm short gold. And I didn't buy silver yet, so it was like my thought was go back, do crown quest, maybe get lucky, get the gold, and buy the silver bracelet at the same time.
Yeah, a lot of
Did you ever imagine you were going to see one of these stage races come down to you have the opal bracelet, but it was going to take you that long to get the 4th?
Nope. This is actually pretty special. I was with the opal bracelet for like, what, 30 plus minutes?
And I was sitting here wondering if we were in the rare situation of ruby required.
Wait, where was the ruby?
It was in Sea Shrine or something like that, so we were never going to see it, but just as we were getting down to the wire, I was wondering, because until we found Floater, there was still the possibility that could have been Ruby. And SBQ is about to get the Floater.
Wait, who did the waterfall?
No one did. They checked it off stream.
Oh,
yeah,
I see.
Debs took a look.
I need some more luck for this round. I got like 3 second and then 2 third. No first. Feels bad, man.
So it's been really fascinating to watch these play out, and everybody talks about the luck factor, which it is a factor, but how fast you're able to check chests and your logic in what order you go. You went to Earth Cave before Marsh, didn't you?
Yeah, I checked the crown chest and then went to Earth because I was pretty close by at the end where I checked the 3 Astos chests. So it was between Earth, Ordeal, or Ice. Mars never crossed my mind because the first floor of, the first and the bottom, someone will probably check that already. If they grab something important, they would have done a long time ago. So that's why I skipped Mars. And there's only 3 chests, which is crown lock. So I take the chance of more chests per minute over the crown lock chest. That was my thinking anyway.
And SBQ has become our 4th place finisher with a time of 1:21. So have you found any of your thinking on change as you've played more of the rounds, more stages in this round?
I dropped the white mage and took in the red mage. It's much better.
And then you saw exit before warp. Did that make you rethink anything?
It's like, fuck.
This one was actually pretty kind to the red mage because you were able to get that fire 2 early.
Well, I do have a black mage, so the red mage is there just to have a melee weapon for the first level on the iguana.
So Tristal says in his opinion that red mage along with 2 thieves was the way to go, in his opinion. He definitely has put up the most impressive average time, so that's hard to argue from his perspective. Will is now able to get the key, and the question is, what does he do?
Tristal, I tried that a long time ago. It's not as balanced as red mage, black mage. Because if the the pirates turn out bad, you'll be locked for 20-30 minutes.
I was keeping an eye off stream. It looked like you did have a little trouble with the pirates. Was it the cremate?
First was the fire because I was level 1, and then the cremate. So I ran back and buy fire too.
So you had skipped it the first time.
No, I went into TOF, grabbed the TNT, grabbed some money, ran out, and died with thunder.
But you hadn't picked up fire 2 when you first saw it?
You start with 50 gold. Fire 2 was 200 gold. So that was a no-go.
Oh my goodness. Crystal. I don't know if at this point he's just trolling us. He says he didn't see cremate. But he had fire too, so he was able to get through that.
Well, did he get thunder by imps? I got rubbed and thunder by imps. So my side was pretty bad. Sorry about that.
Will's over to Dwarf now. You know, I can't keep track of everything we see, so sometimes I don't know if Drissel's just trolling us. But he saw Rubs, so, you know, he didn't get off scot-free against the imps.
Oh no, I died 3 steps away from town. That cost me quite a lot of time.
So Will's gonna pick up that ribbon, and I think he has about 10 more minutes before he can no longer reduce chaos points.
I think he's already got a better finish than this anyway, so he's not looking at improving. It's just a question of not letting the seed get the best of you.
Someone tell SBQ to go to the room. There you go.
Hi, SBQ.
Hello.
So, fourth place, huh? How you feel about that one?
Well, would have been better if the time was a bit better, but I'm glad I finished this one. That one was annoying.
Okay. I just looked at the standings real fast to go back to the last point we had made. Tristal has a .38, so he's not improving on that in this one. So what stood out to you the most, SPQ?
What stood out to me the most?
Sure.
Ice Cave was a nightmare. I tried it so many times, and eventually I tried it so many times thinking it was the only place left. Then I remembered Bottom Marsh, so I made a beeline there, and that paid off, thankfully. Yeah, finding Opal was nice, but then still looking for gold was something else.
Alright, so the idea has just been brought up in chat, and this is an off-the-beaten-path topic, but while we have a couple of you runners here, what do you think of this idea? If the option was to do a round flags like we had here, or beat Chaos, and either way counts for a dot done. And not saying we would see a change this tournament, but that if that were a future option, what would you think of that?
I think it's fine. If someone beat Chaos before we got the item, yeah, we deserve to lose.
Yeah, it would really depend on what the object was. But it would be an interesting thing if the two would line up time-wise. I don't have any examples.
Fascinating, because you really couldn't have done it faster. You just still needed the floater in this seed in particular. So maybe Tristal could have beaten Chaos by now, but otherwise you'd be hard-pressed to. Looks like Will is checking to see if anyone else is still running. And we're waiting to see if he's going to continue. So if anybody out there has feedback on that idea or other suggestions you'd like to bring up for future rules of the league, feel free to stop into the Discord and offer your suggestions. They're hearing out everything. Thank you again to Nora, who's done a terrific job as a restreamer as always, Randomania, who's been great to work with, and to all of our runners who have put on a great show, and all of our viewers who are here to appreciate. Apparently you have a fan, SBQ.
Yeah, apparently.
Now you got another fan in chat, and Tristal, who was very impressed by the quality of the graphics edits you've been making as well.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, mentioning earlier that Final Fantasy IV was his favorite, so choosing that for the fonts, he was definitely a fan of that.
So Will has knocked Garland down. How long is it going to take him to get to the Marsh Cave? So SBQ, for you, any changes that you're planning to make for the rest of this stage, either to like party composition or routing choices?
Routing choices are difficult because it sort of depends on just, excuse me, what the game throws at you. But party composition, I tried 2 thieves last night. I might try 2 thieves again. 1 thief didn't feel like it quite cut it. But having both a red and a white was useful, so I don't know. But I might, yeah, I might try to remember to check Lower Marsh sooner, even if Marsh is an annoying cave.
And Will is in the right place, so he is on track to get the floater. He has been here before. He made the early marsh play, but he didn't have the key, so not able to get the floater before. I'm going to have to step away for a moment here, so anyone who wants to vamp for a bit, feel free.
So just the slow stumble to the finish line here as Will looks like he's beelining straight for the floater chest. And the slow walk out.
I mean, what else could you do at this point? I'm surprised we didn't see his traditional graphic pop up there. Oh my goodness! He could get wiped out here! He could get wiped out by the Stone Touch scums!
No.
Nuke is not an overreaction to that situation, I'm just saying.
He's gonna go look at the other ones. And,
Nuke is not an overreaction to anything at this point.
I am curious whether there's a gold bracelet in either of these other chests. I considered checking them, but figured it'd be easier just to exit out, go grab the airship and win.
runs for a split second before recommitting to the joke. Yeah, the devs said that the gold bracelet was in Mirage, the seed.
Oh, okay.
Alright, Wizards, what do you got?
You already fought him once.
I think they got lit 2 or fire 2, I think.
Oh, almost took out the Black Mage.
That would have just made everything worse.
So, a giant sword and a silver axe, the great takeaways from the Earth Cave. Or, excuse me, the Marsh Cave.
Now he gets to go turn in the floater, and then it's... Well, I was gonna say it's pretty obvious where the gold bracelet has to come from, but that has been so long ago, does he even remember it wasn't for sale? Hopefully he's taking notes.
Angrily scribbling down his feelings about this seed.
Well, I think we're going to wrap this up pretty quick after Will joins us in here. So, Brilliant, let's start with you. Any final thoughts you'd like to share?
Nothing I can think of.
Minochi?
I need some more luck. Thank you.
SB?
Nothing really comes to mind.
Jeez, y'all are talkative. Let us get a word in edgewise, would ya? Okay, Will's in the right place to get his bracelet. He's still gonna get a 5th place finish out of this.
And, still... I did like that he kept the pro rank. Not gonna drop that.
Well, I mean, how could you? 1:35:11 is his official SRL time, and you can imagine what he thinks of this one.
Well, there's some more capital letters in chat.
Okay, Will, I have one question.
Yeah.
Why did you leave the crown behind?
I didn't necessarily think I needed it.
So then the rest of this seed happened.
Yeah, sure did. That was a real fun seed. Had a good time.
Was there a reluctance to go Marsh because you had already done the clear of everything else there?
Yep. 3 chests did not really constitute a high probability for me. Had I not gambled Marsh early in the seed, it would have been a much better proposition going 13 chests rather than 3. So my own gamble bit me in the butt twice.
So you ended up seeing exactly what the path had to be. There was no other way to do it because there was no gold bracelet or anything else available. You had to go to Volcano, get both the crown and opal bracelet, then you had to go to Marsh, get the floater, and then you had to go buy your gold bracelet.
That's right. I had planned on buying it. I didn't know. I was trying to find the floater, desperately trying to find the floater, and I figured if in the time I'm looking for it, I find a gold bracelet in the chest, because I think there's just one in the game, then fantastic. But
on your first dive to Earth, did you get everything, including the one after the vampire, or did you end up leaving it after the second floor?
I got my first time into Earth. I got floors 1 and 2 completely, even past the Earth chest. And on the 3rd floor, when I came back, I got every chest. I did check the vampire chest, if that's what you're asking me.
I was just curious in what order it happened in, because I remember seeing you had gone to Earth early, which I thought made all the sense in the world for the record.
Sure.
But I couldn't remember if you got all 3 floors done, or if you just did the first 2.
No, I was way too underleveled to take on wizards or anything else, on a long run. I think I was kind of stretching it, just getting past the Earth chest on the 2nd floor. That's why I actually did a little mini grind outside Melman for 1 charge of nuke. Figure 1 charge of nuke should take care of the Earth, and if it doesn't, well, I guess I'm not getting those chests.
So Edge, got any questions to ask Will?
So that slow walk after the floater.
Yeah.
What piece of music was going through your head during that?
You ever seen The Incredible Hulk?
Exactly.
Is that what you guessed?
Yes.
You and me, man. I'm telling you. Inside
And then you got the scums stone touch 2 of your party members, and I immediately said on the broadcast that nuke was not an overreaction.
Not at all. Not at all. No. It's like nuke is exactly what I'm going to be doing now.
Sure, if you could have nuked the seed, you would have.
I definitely would have. Yeah, all that bad, chest checking luck, coupled with some of the worst RNG I've had in any seed ever. Like, just so many ambushes, so much bad turn order. When I needed a run out of my thief didn't run. When I needed someone to go first, I think I went up against those nightmares, and they wiped me. And I got wiped by bulls a few times. I got wiped by a multitude of things that, had anybody gone first and run, I'd have been okay. And my party's built for that. With a thief and a black mage, having substantially higher luck than the other 4 character classes, I assembled the team so that I could have access to all magic, at least through level 6, and 2 solid runners without sacrificing anything. And it did not pay off. It did not pay off at all.
Well, I think that's going to put a bow on this one. It was certainly a seed of all the ones we played. This was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot more action ahead, so if you haven't joined us in the Discord, please do. It's the best way to get started with the randomizer. I promise, not all races are like this, and there'll probably be more races today that will be nothing like this. So, any final words, Edge?
Just thanks again to the Randomania crew for all their hard work.
I will echo that, and again, thank you to everyone who tuned in for this one. Hope you have a great rest of your Saturday.
Nuke this seed from orbit, it's the only way to be sure.